What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Another video means another dopamine high because I had to buy something to feel something, and today we're back at it with another review. For today's review, we are taking a look at McFarlane's Fallout, specifically Fallout 76 for this figure, T-45 power armor, specifically donning the military paint job. And this is a red platinum release for McFarlane, which means, from my understanding, that this is new to the Fallout wave, which it is. All the power armor that we've gotten previously is T60, and obviously this is T45, and hopefully that means in the future McFarlane is willing to do other ones. I really want to see a T51 because that is my favorite type of power armor from Fallout, but it'd be awesome to see, you know, the Enclave, the XO1, and just any other, you know, quirky things that Fallout 76 has given us, because I know there's a lot of different variations in that game. And as of recently, it was leaked, it was shown off at a panel, and the panel got leaked, that we are going to get another T45 release sometime in the near future. It's going to be a Nuka-Cola skin for the T45 power armor, and it's associated with the Fallout 3 remaster line of figures, which I think is the bigger deal of that leak. And I'm actually personally excited for these upcoming remasters because I just want to see how Bethesda's going to tackle it. I love Fallout 3 and I love Fallout New Vegas, and I would like to see what I must make that clear, a faithful modernization, you know, of those games would look like. But I think we're starting to get off topic, so let's go back to what we're talking about today, which is our military painted T45 power armor. So at any point during or after the video you do realize you want to pick up this figure for yourself, the only online option I could find is for GameStop for $34.99. I swear to God, I saw a bunch of them at a Walmart, but I can't find a listing on the Walmart website or anywhere else. So as far as I know, at least in the digital realm of things, this is a GameStop exclusive. Again, $34.99, link in the description if at any point you want to pick up this figure for yourself. And now, with all that said, I think it's time that we take a look at this bad boy. And as always, we start off with the packaging. We have our figure with everything included, which is nice. I would be upset if something was missing. We have the Fallout 76 logo with the T45 title, McFarlane Gaming Edition, all fancy. We have the platinum red sticker for authenticity, and then on the side we have T51 power armor with a Brotherhood of Steel location, and then on the back we have more T51 power armor with the Fallout 76 logo up top. I think the art choice or the packaging is a little misleading or weird at most, but let's open up this bad boy. So right out of the box, starting off with visual presentation, I'm left a bit conflicted. Like with most modern McFarlane figures, it seems that the visual presentation is a love-hate relationship, because if you look at this figure's sculpt work, there's detail to be found from head to toe. The power armor is covered in all different types of paneling, ridges, mechanical bits, you know, just the things that you expect to see there. And getting into more specific examples, looking at the helmet, you can see all these different, you know, bolts, the respirator around the mouth area, different light accessories, tubing. The hands look great with the mechanical bits sculpted into the fingers. The backpack looks great. It's got the housing for the fusion core. It's even got a fusion core sculpted into there. It's got the tanks with some vents there, more mechanical bits and tubing. But where my issue lies with this figure's visual presentation is the paint job. I feel like we got the bare minimum, as if they just did a base layer and just stopped and called it there. I feel like a lot of smaller bits, the more, you know, intricate, you know, bolts, mechanical parts, just tiny things were just painted over in that military green that the majority of the armor is made up of. Even looking at the backpack, the housing for the fusion core is just painted that light gray that the housing is. It's not, you know, painted the colors that it would be, which is like dark gray, red, and yellow. So I feel like we're just missing some finer details here that they just kind of glossed over. Even like some kind of, you know, black wash, some kind of grit, wear and tear, I feel like would help better bring this figure to life. But unfortunately we got this pretty, you know, basic bare minimum paint job. So overall, when it comes to the visuals, I'm happy with what we got. As far as the sculpt work goes, there's detail to be found on every piece of this figure, which is a good thing, of course. But as far as the paint work goes, I just wish that they got some of the finer details down and gave this figure some grit, wear and tear, some kind of wash to help further bring it to life and really make it look like it went through the apocalypse. And then moving over to articulation, starting off with the head rotation, we can get a full 360-degree rotation, and then we can get a slight side-to-side tilt, and then we can get a slight tilt going up and down as well. And then going down to the arms, actually at the shoulder plates first, because they are articulable. They can be brought up and down. They can also swivel side to side as well. But then actually taking a look at the arms, you can get a nice up and over rotation. I won't say a full 360-degree rotation because of the shoulder plates. I can guarantee you if they weren't there, you'd be able to, but the range is still good nonetheless. And then you can bring the arms up and down a decent amount, but due to the shoulder plates, I can't say the same for when you rotate the arm 180 degrees to bring it up and down. The shoulder plates do get in the way. And then from the tricep bicep area, we can independently rotate the arm 360 degrees. And then for the elbow bend, it's pretty all right. I mean, for armor that's literally a wearable tank, it's pretty good, but if this was like, you know, a more agile slim figure, this range would be pretty bad. And then for the hands, we can rotate it 360 degrees and bend the wrist however we please. And then moving over to the torso, we can rotate it 360 degrees. And then for a walking tank, we can actually get some pretty decent side to side sway in the torso. And then unfortunately, the back and forth motion is pretty stiff. Honestly, not too surprised seeing how chunky this figure is, but still, it would have been nice. And then moving down to the legs, we can actually get some really good range in rotating the legs. Actually, you can get a full 360-degree rotation. The more you do that, the leg is more likely to pop off. Obviously, you can pop it back on, but without it popping off, you can still get some really good range for this figure. And then for the splittage, it's pretty decent. The only thing that prevents it from going any further is the armor clashing with itself, and we actually can get some swivel in the upper thigh as well for further balancing and posing. And then moving down to the knee, we actually get a really good knee bend. Now, I will say it does feel pretty stiff, and I was afraid that I was going to break it, but when you actually get to achieve that range of motion for power armor, that's a really good knee bend. But do not expect to get this guy in any kind of kneeling poses. That is going to be quite literally impossible without it looking fucking weird. And just to give you an idea of how stiff these knees are, this is what they sound like. And then with the boots, you can rotate them 360 degrees and articulate the ankles however you please. So kicking this segment off with the most essential accessory, which is the backpack. Obviously, I had it equipped for the visual presentation segment because it is a part of the suit's design, but it is a feature that it is removable. So I'm going to show it off anyways. It's pretty self-explanatory how you put it on and off. And then once it's on, it stays on, it's nice and snug and doesn't feel like it's going to fall off anytime soon. And getting into our first accessory that isn't a necessity, and that is the McFarlane trading card. And my only gripe with this, I don't mind that McFarlane includes these. I mean, I know no one really does anything with them, but the fact that there's T-51 power armor on it instead of T-45, I don't know what stopped them from acquiring an image of T-45 power armor. I mean, it's in the game. I'm pretty sure Bethesda has a bunch of artwork using the T-45, but we have T-51 instead. And on the back, we do have some stats and, again, an appearance of the T-51 power armor, but the stats are actually correct. I did look them up, so at least that's correct on the card. And then for our next accessory, we do get a stand. One thing that McFarlane does that I absolutely love. I feel like all toy companies should do this, but it's just a simple black disc stand with the Fallout 76 logo on it. And as much as I love that they included a stand, I feel like the power armor figures don't really need it because of how bulky they are. I mean, it is nice to have. I'm not going to say, don't include it, but I don't think you'll need this for this figure. And then up next, we have the swappable hands. We have 6 in total. We have 2 closed fists, 2 trigger fingers, and then 1 pointer finger and 1 open expressive hand. And then for the one weapon included, we do get the 10mm pistol. And one thing that I immediately noticed is that this isn't the modern 10mm pistol. This isn't the Fallout 4, Fallout 76 model. This is based off of the Fallout 3 and New Vegas model. which most likely means that this figure was originally supposed to be part of the Fallout 3 remaster line of figures, but obviously, you know, the only figure to be leaked for that was the Nuka-Cola T-45, and that figure comes with a 10mm pistol along with a bunch of other weapons. But it is cool to see that we did get the T-45 sooner than later. But bringing it back to the accessory at hand, I think McFarlane did a pretty good job at giving us a Fallout 3 style 10mm pistol. I mean, all the details are there. There's the texture on the hand grip, the underbarrel laser pointer, the various ridges, bolts, and mechanical parts that we see on the gun. The only thing that is missing is the trigger, which I assume is because of the power armor's fat fucking fingers. But otherwise, I think they did a great fucking job at sculpting the 10mm pistol. As far as the paint job goes, it's actually pretty accurate to the in-game model, which is just mostly all gray. Obviously, the in-game model is a little more detailed with various rust and variation in the weathering of the metal, whereas, you know, this is a toy and they just painted it all the same shade of gray. And here we are at the turntable segment of the video, pretty much where I go over pros, cons, strengths, weaknesses, just general thoughts and opinions, get a conversation started. Hopefully have y'all go down in the conversation below, bounce off anything that I've said in the video, and I'll most likely reply to y'all's comments because I clearly love talking about this stuff. And in this segment, I like to start off with the negative, the sour stuff, just so I don't have to dwell on the negative any longer than I already have to. So starting off, we have the visual presentation. I just wish the paintwork was a bit more dirty or a bit more grime, you know, just some kind of black wash, you know, help bring those smaller details to life, make those ridges, those panels really pop on the armor. And also, I understand that the military paint job does cover up a lot of the mechanical bits and bolts and whatnot, but I wish that McFarlane just hit those parts that weren't affected by the green, just to again further bring this figure to life. And then something on the smaller side, because I'm honestly not surprised, is that the torso can't sway back and forth. And just because I'm not surprised doesn't mean I can't be disappointed and wish that it could, because I do wish that the torso could sway back and forth, but it can't. And then when it comes to the accessories, I could go on about the trading card having the wrong suit of power armor, but honestly, it doesn't ruffle my feathers enough. It is factually wrong, yes, but it doesn't really bother me all that much. I don't really, you know, look forward to the trading cards. I know there are people who definitely care more about these cards than I do, but it's something factually wrong, and I feel like because of that, it is worth bringing up. But it doesn't ruin my day personally. In terms of things that I actually do want to criticize when it comes to the accessories of this figure, is I wish that this figure came with more weapons. The 10mm in the Fallout 3 style looks great. I think McFarlane handled it perfectly, or nearly perfectly, but to warrant the $35 price that this figure goes for, I feel like another weapon, I'm not asking for like the same amount of weapons that the T60 came with. I understand that's a $60 figure, so it has to come with a bunch of shit, but for a $35 figure, I feel like at least 2 weapons. 3 would be amazing, like the 10mm, and then maybe a laser rifle, plasma rifle, the Fallout 4/76 style assault rifle, even though people don't like it. Something to help further warrant the price that this figure comes at. But now segueing into the positives, starting off with the sculpt work, I think McFarlane knocked it out of the park when it came to sculpting the T-45's armor. There's just so much detail no matter where you look on the armor, whether it's the ridges or panels of the armor, or the smaller, more integral bits and bolts, or just, you know, some wiring, tubing, light accessories, whatever it may be. There's just detail to be found on this figure, and I love it. And when it comes to the articulation, giving this figure as much credit as possible for a figure that is literally a walking tank that's very chunky, I feel like the range is actually pretty good. I mean, it's probably on par with what we see in the Fallout show. Power armor isn't like Spartan armor where you can still be fast and nimble. You're literally a suit of tank armor that's supposed to take as many hits without getting knocked down. So you're gonna be chunky, and your articulation is gonna be limited whether you're an action figure or not. But yeah, no, nerd talk aside, I'm pretty impressed with how articulated this figure is for being so chunky. And in terms of the other accessories, I mean, the card is a nice goodie, even if it has the wrong pictures on it. The stand is always welcome. I feel like every toy company should do that. I love having swappable hands so we can display our figure in a variety of more ways than just working with 2 trigger finger hands. And the 10mm does look great. I love the sculpt work. The paint job is very, very simple. And, you know, what we're given is good. I just wish we got more accessories. So as a figure, as a product, I obviously wish there was more given here. But in terms of T-45 power armor, I think McFarlane did a pretty good job. And that was McFarlane Toys Fallout 76's T-45 Power Armor, a red platinum figure. If you have this figure, please tell me what you think. Do you like this figure? Do you not like this figure? Will you or will you not be picking up said figure? And like I said earlier in the intro, I have a link in the description to the GameStop website to pick up this figure for yourself, because I cannot figure out where the fuck this figure is on the Walmart website, because I've seen this figure in Walmart. I swear there was even on the original article for this figure a Walmart link, but I can't find this figure on the Walmart website. Hopefully that changes sometime down the road, and when it does, I'll update the description of the video. But anyways, if you did enjoy today's video, a like and a subscription would be greatly appreciated. If you don't want to comment, I get it. Moving those fingers is a lot of effort, but if you do bounce off anything that I did say, I'll most likely reply to y'all's comments, because I clearly like talking about this stuff. And don't worry about the bell, because we both know that shit is broken. And if you did enjoy this video, I am gonna start reviewing more Fallout stuff and just McFarlane in general. But as far as other content, I do post Halo, Star Wars, Alien, Predator, Alien versus Predator. So if any of that does interest you, please go check that out. And with all that said, please have a great day and stay hydrated. It's important.